welcome to another edition of World Talks here on TVP World. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and please join me and my guests on this next interview. As the front line in eastern Ukraine intensifies, Ukrainian forces have reportedly deployed special operations troops by air into the contested city of Pokrovsk, seeking to halt Russian advances and secure key supply routes. At the same time, humanitarian needs in the region continue to escalate. Joining us today on TVP World to unpack the strategic and human dimensions is Piotr Kaszuwara, president of UA Future Foundation, an experienced war correspondent turned humanitarian aid leader. Hello, sir, and welcome to TVP World.
Good evening, but it's hard to say if it's good for Ukraine, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately so. So given recent air-landed deployment of Ukrainian special forces into Pokrovsk, what does this tell us about Kyiv's assessment of the battle situation there?
Ukraine is using special forces for a long time already in this kind of special operations, very difficult operations. They've been using special forces in Sumy at the beginning of the offensive in Kursk region. They've been using special forces in New York, near Toretsk, in Donbas region, and now they are using special forces also in Pokrovsk. This is nothing unusual, I would say, but that also tells us that this is very urgent, I would say, situation, very difficult situation, because Ukraine is sending special forces to clear the land, to make it possible for the ground forces to come into and start the counter-offensive. Usually, special forces are not big teams. They are about 20, 25 people in one team coming to the place where they need to do their tasks. And now they are operating in Pokrovsk because the situation in Pokrovsk is really, really difficult. Russians, they are coming in to Mirnograd. This is the city nearby Pokrovsk. And we already have informations that about 250 to 300 Russian soldiers are already in Pokrovsk. Pokrovsk, it's very far away city. It's very very similar. If we would like to tell the story about Donbas, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, nobody have heard about Bakhmut, nobody have heard about Avdiivka, and also nobody have heard about Pokrovsk. But these are the fortresses of Donbas. There is a few cities like that, and they are protecting the whole territory. If we would like to try to describe what is going on now in Donbas, we need to try to imagine kind of a situation as in Tolkien's book, as in the Middle Ages times, when you had a long line of the fortresses that are protecting the land from the evil, because Russia right now is the evil. Pokrovsk, Mirnograd, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, Hulaj-Pole, Orikhiv, Liman, Kupiansk, Borova, these are Vovchansk as well. These are the cities that Russia built a long while ago to protect their own land from the West. And this is the ridiculous of this situation. But now the West is protecting the land from Russia to come to the West. So we have a few fortresses, we have a few logistic lines that are very important for this war. And Pokrovsk is one of them. Konstantinivka is the second one right now. Sieviersk is the second one. It's very difficult to explain for the people that have never been there why it is so important. But I know Pokrovsk for many years. I've been visiting this city for a long time, and Ukraine, I know that for sure, built very important defense lines, trenches all around the city, but the war changed also a lot. If we will look on Bakhmut, because Pokrovsk right now, it looks like Bakhmut a few years ago. I was in Bakhmut as well, and I remember how difficult was the situation at the end of Bakhmut, let's call it like that. Uh, but Bakhmut was kind of a training place for the Russians. They've been learning how to take over the cities. And that's what they are doing right now. This is the lesson that they already took in Bakhmut, in Avdiivka, and in the other cities of Donbas. They learn a lot, they change it a lot as well, because now they are covering the sky all over the city by the drones. In Bakhmut, we've been coming to the city with buses to deliver humanitarian aid, for example, because we haven't been afraid of the drones. And right now, as humanitarian missions, we cannot come in to Pokrovsk, for example, or to Mirnograd, because we we can be, killed. How easy to say it, but we can be killed by the drones 20 kilometers away from the city. So the situation in last 2 years between Bakhmut and Pokrovsk changed a lot, and the whole war unfortunately changed. And Pokrovsk and the Battle of Pokrovsk is way different than the Battle of Bakhmut and the other cities in last few years of the war in Ukraine.
Right, comparing that to, like mentioned, the Tolkien analogy, we're looking at a Helm's Deep being siege right now, but also very kind of comparable to that as well. Like you mentioned, there's about 205 to 300 Russian soldiers already in the city. Do you think that this small elite group of special forces will be able to turn the tides in any meaningful way, or at least give Ukrainians a little bit of fighting chance?
300 soldiers, it's not a little amount. We need to understand that 25 soldiers of the special forces can change the battle. Ukraine has been entering to Kursk region with few hundred soldiers as well. And they are trying to dig the tunnels for the land forces to come in. So 250 soldiers, 300 soldiers right now, it's something way different than 3,000 or 5,000 soldiers 2 years ago. Right now, we need to also understand what is going on in Pokrovsk. There is nothing like a classic front line, I would say, because you don't really have trenches. You have holes in the ground where 2, 3 soldiers are operating with drones, for example. So this is not very important to have thousands of soldiers, assaulting the opponent, let's call it like that. You just need a few soldiers, because also if Ukraine is trying to, for example, take back the territories near Dobropile, it's north side from Pokrovsk, they are trying to protect the land from about 100 Russian soldiers, and they are doing that for months because these soldiers are supported by the drones. And this is the main problem in the area right now. And this is the main strategy of Russia since months. They are sending thousands of drones in the front. They are destroying communication. They are cutting the logistic lines. They are cutting the roads. They are pushing Ukrainians to step back by destroying the internet. You know, without the internet, Ukrainians, they cannot operate with drones, they cannot communicate, they are losing their eyes. And this is the main strategy of Russia. They are sending thousands of drones, destroying technology, and uh, pushing Ukrainians to step back, and then taking the area, then sending the land forces, because this is very impossible right now to send any tanks, for example, to the front line. Soldiers usually, to get to the positions, they need to walk in the night for 10 or 15, 20, 25 kilometers. They cannot get the supplies by the cars. They cannot get supplies by anything except the drones. So this is impossible to send like 1,000 soldiers because they will be killed immediately. You can send only 3 soldiers, 3 soldiers, not 1,000 soldiers, 5 soldiers during the night to get to the positions, set in the hole in the ground, and try to operate with drones to give the eyes for the other units coming from the backside to actually protect kind of a gray zone, because we don't really have the front line right now. So Pokrovsk battle is something completely new in this war, and the West need to observe what is going on, because the future battles for the other cities, because probably Pokrovsk will fall down soon, will look like that.
All right, thank you so much for helping us break down the battle dynamics of the front line. That was really informative. Thanks for being with us on TVP World. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers. And thank you for tuning into this edition of World Talks. But for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.